Alright, so I missed the first half of the quest last night. I'm a delinquent, basically. So the first part.
Yeah, I can cover that.
Yeah.
I am the Dungeon Master, so I'm God, basically.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what D&D is, Dungeons & Dragons is an interactive storytelling game where you roll dice to kind of affect the outcome of the story plot.
Yeah, and you make your own decisions about what your character does. You make your own type of character. So, anyway, we're doing all that. Our party was complaining about not having enough dragons and dungeons in the game.
Yes.
Rex had it with our shit. So he put us in a dungeon with a dragon in the first mission. It was like, all right, you wanted this.
Yeah. I mean, people are complaining. Why not?
Yeah. So anyway, we're a few sessions in right now. So how'd this last session begin?
Okay, so you guys need to understand the main gist of the story plot. So the main gist of the story plot is they just saved the world, and this is starting a new quest. So the first quest was saving the world.
Yep.
I'm sure that Billy will go over this later with you guys.
Yeah.
How it happened is not important. So after
we saved the world. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. After saving the world, they're like, we're gonna go and loot this treasure room
because we're
in
bored.
The castle.
We're like,
because everybody's
treasure.
So freaking greedy. And they're like, well, God never gives us gold, so let's just go and take it. So they get to the treasure room.
Yeah.
Long story short, they find a secret passage, make it down into like
the sub-basement.
The sub-basement, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Awaken a giant dragon and
bursts out of the ground.
Bursts out of the ground, and basically the world's doomed. So after saving the world, they
to be fair,
world.
Bob, the beatboxing bombard, convinced everyone that we didn't do it.
Yes.
A dragon bursts out of the ground. We come out of the same hole. We're like, we didn't have anything to do with that.
Nothing to do with this.
And everyone believed him.
Because Bob Chuck's very glib. And
yes.
He's very convincing at times.
Yeah. All right. So then things continued. Long story short is we encountered a giant worm.
Yes. So
it's the worm from Dune, basically, if you're familiar.
Yeah, it's a giant worm creature, giant poison worm. So, I mean, the end of the session previous to this one ended with them slaying the worm. They didn't actually kill it. It drags half the party down into the hole. And, of course, the people who are playing tonight, which is the half of the party that was not dragged down the hole, was like, we know that Rex wants us to go down that hole, and we're going to just say, F you, Rex. We're going to go the other way. We're going to get ourselves lost in this jungle. We're going to get so lost.
Yeah, what now, Rex? You didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, right. The joke's on them.
Yeah, he saw it coming.
Yeah, I saw it coming.
Our party has a history of jumping in holes. It's a long history.
It's a very long history of just and also trying to mess up my story plot.
We try our best, Rex.
Every single session.
But this time he got us.
Yeah. So I knew that they wouldn't go into the hole. I knew that they said, fuck it, we don't want to actually save half of our party. They're not important. Rex won't kill them. So they start walking in the jungle away from the hole. They get completely lost. They find themselves in like more of a rainforest-esque part of the jungle. It starts raining. Wolf, the werewolf tank ice augmenter, feeling very sorry for himself since he had the wet dog smell going on, decides to curl up into the fetal position.
Okay.
He gets hit by an arrow. The rest of the party didn't see it, and he falls asleep. So the arrows are tipped with something that is kind of like a sleeping agent. However, he was in the fetal position, so nobody noticed.
Oh, dang it, Julian. Okay, well.
So after that, who got hit after that? Bob Chuck got hit after that. So Bob Chuck got hit by an arrow and goes down. Bob Chuck, obviously being a very loud person, well, the rest of the party noticed. So the only two people left that are playing at this time are Dawn the Necromancer and the firing squad ranger, Seven.
Yeah.
So Seven's like, we're under attack. Obviously, since it's raining right now, the best idea would be to shoot a smoke arrow up into the air so the smoke covers me and the rest of the party and they can't see us.
Not necessarily a bad idea.
Not necessarily a bad idea, except he rolled a 1, so he botched.
Yeah. So what happened exactly? I don't remember.
Well, you weren't actually here yet.
Okay, yeah.
So he botched. He starts coughing from the smoke. I mean, Dawn the Necromancer is a skeleton. Like, no lungs.
He gets away with
okay.
so much because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So then he gets hit by an arrow because he's making a hell of a lot of noise.
Mhm.
You can hit the side of a barn if it's coughing at you, right?
Right.
And he goes down. The mage obviously is still up. Is like, okay, I see where this arrow came from, and I'm gonna just nuke that area. Just purge it from the face of the earth.
She does.
She does. Yeah. She does like, something insane, like 500 damage. Uses all of her mana, dumps just tons of damage on this area.
Which Rex, being a dick, had predicted.
Yes, of course.
You're getting good. You're getting good at this.
You guys are so predictable in your shenanigans, except Bobchuck. I can never, like, how the heck am I supposed to just predict Bobchuck?
You can't, but
can't.
we'll tell them more about why it can't be predicted in a minute. So, nuked that area.
Yes, nukes that area, kills the NPCs that are in the bushes, which turn out to be elves. But I'm starting in this new story plot, so these elves are dragonborn, or dragon fanatics, that once they absorb enough magic, turn into faux dragons, or dragons themselves. They're not like real dragons, so they're a little bit weak,
Yeah.
but they turn into dragons nonetheless.
Yeah.
So an NPC or a non-player character comes in riding on a rhino and sweeps up the necromancer and is like, hey, we need to get out of here because you just spawned dragons, you asshole. Dawn, the necromancer, is like, but the rest of my party's asleep on the ground. They will perish. Please help them.
Yeah.
NPC's like, oh, hell no. I'm saving my skin and your skin and we're getting out of here.
But he has no skin. He's a skeleton.
Well, I guess saving your bony ass. So they trample off. So after this, all of the people pass their saves and they get up. So Seven, the archer, Wolf, the tank, and Bobchuck, the beatboxing bombard, are all kind of in this area and they don't know what the heck happens because they didn't see Dawn nuke the area.
Yeah.
Right?
They just know dragons.
They just see this scorched area with these eggs there. They're like, my goodness, that's a little strange. I don't remember eggs there. Eggs start like hatching, and they see they see a dragon pop out of the first egg, and then dragons hatching from the other eggs. And Wolf is like, I'm done. I'm out. Bye. Starts running away. Immediately after, Bobchuck's like, yeah, I need to use my Dove Storm. Do you want to explain what Dove Storm is?
One does not simply explain Dove Storm. So
He's got the blink and you've got the doves.
yeah, he blinks when he reappears. He transports. When he reappears, he's surrounded by doves.
Yes.
They make him invincible.
You can't hit through the doves because it's just this swirling dove-nado.
Basically, it's a dove-nado.
But he botches, of course.
Okay.
So he rolls a 1, and normally when somebody rolls a 1, it's an epic fail. Like, it's terrible. However, I thought that it would be very bad for the party to botch in the normal way.
Yeah.
So he still gets his teleport, but all of the doves that he summons are dead. So it starts raining dead doves.
Dead doves.
On top of the already raining rain.
Yes. Yes.
And they're just like flopping on the ground. He's not invincible because, of course, he doesn't have the twister of doves. Instead, he just has these like flopping dead doves, little limp things. Wolf picks up a few doves, starts eating them as he's running away.
He gets health for that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets health for it.
Okay, yeah,
but
so.
he also gets a snack. And, of course, Seven, the firing squad, is so enthralled by these eggs that he chooses not to move at all. So Bobchuck, the beatboxing bombard, has this thing where he can angelic grasp someone. So he angelic grasps Seven, and Seven falls to his knees and lands at Bobchuck's feet on his knees, and a lone tear goes down his cheek, and he says, "Thank you." Very BJ-esque. Can you imagine? Just like, never mind. So they can see the rhino, and they see that Dawn's on the rhino.
Yeah.
Seven has a grappling hook arrow, shoots it to the rhino, rolls a 20, grappling hook impales itself in the back of the rhino's
And by the back,
buttocks.
yeah, he shoots it in the ass.
Yes, basically. So he jumps to the rhino, gets on his back. Wolf can run really fast because, of course, he's a werewolf. But Bob Chuck's like, there are dragons behind me. I can't run that fast. I have these useless doves. I'm not invincible. And they're gaining on me. So he grabs onto the rope of this grappling hook arrow. And since he has angel wings, basically turns into a kite.
Yes. Okay.
Were you here for this?
No, I was not yet.
Okay. So he's basically a kite at this point. He's flying up there.
In the rain.
In the rain. With the doves falling.
You see where this is going, but you have no idea where this is going.
So I was like, well, since it's raining and you're a kite, you need to roll to see if you were struck by lightning. Because, I mean, that's kind of reasonable.
Possible.
Especially if you're above the tree line.
Which he probably is.
He was. Rolls a 1. He gets struck by lightning.
Really hard.
So I'm sort of benevolent, or I try to be a little bit fair at some times, and other times I'm not as fair.
Yeah.
But in this,
When he gets struck by lightning.
he gets struck by lightning, and I was like, you know what? You can put 1 skill point into any skill that you want, as long as you shout Eureka. Just because I'm a nice guy, right? Or a nice god. So he shouts Eureka and he invents rap music.
Because of course.
And that, boys and girls, is how rap music came to be.
And he decided that he was the real Slim Shady.
He did decide that he was the real Slim Shady.
Did he actually start singing the song, or?
No, he can't actually sing. Which is funny because he plays a bard.
So anyway, he invents rap. He becomes the real Slim Shady.
Yes.
Because, like I remarked at the time, it's the most metal way to create rap.
Of course, of course.
He gets struck by
I
lightning.
was struck by lightning. And I invented rap music.
So then after that, we're getting close to where I come in.
I think this is actually where you came in.
I think it was right after, because I know that the rap happened first.
Yes.
So anyway, I've been there the whole time.
This is how I Rexconned it.
Yeah, it was Rexconned.
Yeah.
It turns out I was on the Rhino the whole time in a cardboard box hiding from everybody.
Exactly.
The stealth assassin part. So, I invented cardboard, by the way, a while back. Because I wanted to make a cardboard box. For personal reasons. So I'm hiding for Metal Gear reasons. So I'm in the box, and I just threw off the box, and I'm like, what's up?
Hi, everybody. Did you miss me? I'm back.
Alright, so then right after that, it was Dragon Battle time.
Yeah, we decided. Well, I didn't decide. The party decided that they were going to fight the dragons.
No, we kind of have to.
Well, we didn't have to.
Really?
There's
We didn't
always
have to?
There's always a workaround.
Fine, well, we decided to fight the dragons.
Yes. So Wolf turns around. He's like, I'm full health now. I have all these doves that I've eaten. So now I am perfectly ready to fight. So he jumps in, attacks the first dragon. He has this bite where if he bites and successfully does damage, he can freeze a target.
First, the nose.
Yeah. Oh, yes. You should probably tell them about that.
So he takes a dove, which apparently does 1d4 damage.
And always hits.
It always hits.
Dragons.
Always hits dragons. That does flat 4 damage, I
Yeah.
think. Throws it into the dragon's nose.
Gets stuck there. Does 4 damage.
Does 4 damage. And then does the bite, which you can explain.
Yes. So he does this bite, and he freezes the dragon in midair, which crashes to the ground and does a measly 2 damage because I rolled really shitty.
Yeah, on a d20.
On a d20, which is a 20-sided dice for those of you who don't know. Average is actually 10.5. We found that out.
Somehow the average is 10.5. It's weird. But he got a 2.
Yeah, so takes 2 damage. Wolf tells the rest of the party, nobody touch my dragon. This is my dragon.
Yep.
This is my
He
dragon.
called it.
Don't touch it.
Wait, was I the next one who did anything?
Yes, I think you
The blow up.
yeah,
Oh,
you
gosh.
blew one up
Oh, gosh.
immediately
So-
after.
Because Wolf was right there and he was so angry. So, anyway, because of my stealth assassin thing, I got an attack of opportunity. And my attack of opportunity is a 1d80. Or technically 180, but I did the d80 first.
Yeah.
I roll an 80 on a d80. Just saying, 80 on a d80 plus 2. Do 82 damage, kill one of the other dragons, right? And inspired by Fallout 3, and I think New Vegas has it too, but inspired by Fallout 3, I have a feat where when I assassinate anything, there's a 50% chance that it just explodes for no reason whatsoever.
Yep.
It just does. No one in the party has asked about this yet, which I love.
No, not at all.
Everyone's just like, wow, things that he stabbed start just blowing up half the time. I don't know. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to ask about it.
I put in like a description, but then you came to me afterwards.
Yeah, I crossed out your reason. It just
like,
does.
I don't want any reasoning for it.
Just
I
happens.
just want it to happen.
It just happens half the time. So anyway, it's the dragon it's not Julian's dragon or Wolf's dragon. It's the one right next to him.
Right.
It explodes all over and does flat D20. Does flat 20 damage. This includes to Wolf, who's not very happy with me, but I don't care. I blew up a dragon. I don't care.
Constantly just blowing.
He's in the range of fire all the
It
time.
always happens. Oh my gosh.
So after that, what was the next?
7 went.
7.
So 7 went. He unloaded 9 shots, an explosive arrow. Does
Okay.
a fair bit amount of damage,
Yeah.
but the explosive arrow also hits Wolf. So
Poor
it
guy.
takes 2 explosions. You wonder why he's a little bit
In one.
salty at the time.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we also have Shori the Ranger, and in other combats, since she wasn't here during the session, she also blows up Wolf a lot too.
A lot.
So he's just getting sick of this shit at this point.
No one else is sick of it, though.
I think Dawn used her turn to resurrect 4 doves, was it?
Doves got
Resurrected.
resurrected at some point.
Yeah. We got 4 of them. They all automatically hit and do 4 damage apiece to the dragons because obviously the dragon's weakness.
Because obviously,
Dragon's weakness
everyone knows this.
is doves, right?
It's common sense.
Where do we come up with this shit?
When you get like 8 people in a party, this is what happens. Although they weren't even all there.
Yeah.
College. So after that,
we had Bob Chuck,
yes,
who used his dove storm, right?
Didn't he use a hero point at some point? Was that later?
Yeah, that was later.
Okay, so he
dove stormed
dove stormed. I know that.
Successfully this time, so it's no longer raining doves, it's swirling doves.
Yeah,
So he does like
he does
20
a lot
AoE
of damage. Next is it the dragon's turn? I think?
Yeah, so it's the
I
dragon's
got
turn.
mind controlled right behind Wolf,
Yes.
which means that I get an attack of opportunity, and I'm mind controlled. So my attack of opportunity goes on Wolf. I do 67 damage and knock him out. I believe I knocked him out, or not quite.
No, not quite.
Not quite.
Very low though.
Yeah.
So Wolf, after being blown up twice,
Twice. Before even his next turn,
It gets
he attacks, gets blown up twice, and stabbed. I did 87 damage to him. More than... I rolled an 80 on a D80 against that dragon, and did less damage than I did against my own party member in that turn.
because it's just like that's how it works, right?
82 versus 87. Yep.
We also forgot that Bob Chuck used sleep on one of the dragons.
Yeah.
So that one fell from the air as well, and crashed into the ground to do like a measly 3 damage because apparently dragons don't take fall damage.
They're just good.
They're just like beastly in that manner.
Yeah.
So then after that, so Wolf is almost knocked out. The
Yeah.
dragon breathes fire on the rhino and the people on the rhino,
Including me.
including this guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that much damage. It was like 19 damage.
It knocked me out, didn't it?
No, that's the next round.
Okay. Yeah. I got knocked out at some point.
So it does a lot of damage, or
Some
a lot of
right.
damage proportionally to their health bar,
Yeah.
to Seven and Dawn on the back of the rhino. And then next round of combat rolls around. No pun intended. So, did I go? I went first. I think I went first because that's when I knocked out.
Yeah, because I think I didn't get to go that turn. I think I was knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I was done.
So, Julian Wolf on his frozen dragon. The reason that he told everybody else, don't touch this dragon, was because he was like, I'm going to use a hero point, I'm going to tame this dragon, this dragon's going to be my dragon, I'm going to fly on this dragon, and I would be so happy.
He was knocked out then, right? Because he couldn't do that.
No, not quite.
No.
So Wolf has this thing that he can jump to an ailing party member who's very low on health and to basically turn them into a wolf and party member sickle.
Okay.
So freezes into a pillar of ice, and they don't take damage for that round.
Yeah.
But it also takes a whole round to thaw.
Yeah.
So the dragon that I was controlling botched, and it breathed fire on its party member, which was the frozen dragon. Did a hell of a lot of damage.
Still AoE damage for poor
Still
Julian
AoE
Wolf.
damage. Does like 104 damage, which is what knocks Billy out.
Yeah,
or
it got
Fiat
me
out.
too. Yeah.
And cooks the dragon that
And knocks
Wolf
out
was like-
and knocks out Wolf too.
that Wolf was like, don't touch this dragon, I want this dragon.
Kills the dragon and knocks him out.
Well, it doesn't knock him out, he ice pillars himself.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. But still.
So
Doesn't get that
basically as
bad.
good as knocking him out.
And actually, there was one other thing. Maybe it was later, but I did choke the dragon.
Yes, that was later.
That was later. Well, we'll get to it.
So
I've collected a bunch of doves in my bottomless bag. Or bag of holding, whatever.
I think, was it because Bob Chuck hero pointed that you could do that?
No, I was just collecting doves.
Okay, you need to explain that later. So Julian is super salty. He's like, I wanted that dragon, it's now cooked, and now I'm a wolfsicle, and I can't do anything. I'm so mad.
Oh, he had a rough night.
He had a really rough night. But, I mean, that's just the life of the tank.
Yeah.
So, after that, the dragon has its mind control, which is once per round, and he mind controls Bob Chuck, the beatboxing bombard, who's still, like, dove storming in the back.
Yeah.
Bob Chuck, like a really good realization
Yeah.
that if he used any of his spells on the remaining party members,
Yeah.
would basically kill a party.
Yeah.
Because the ranger was low because of the fire breath, and
Yeah.
the
I'm out. Julian's frozen, but yeah.
the mage was not useful because they found out, well, how the dragons were made was they dumped magic damage on it, so the dragons absorb magic. Didn't
Yeah,
really
so
wanna-
mage can't do anything.
Yeah, mage can't do anything. And if Bob Chuck kills the remaining archer, since the other people who do physical damage are knocked out, they would have no way to kill the dragon.
Yeah, so.
So, he uses a hero point. Oh, do you remember the song?
Oh, it's, Mama Said Knock You Out by
Mama
LL
Said
Cool
Knock You
J. He starts rapping Mama Said Knock You Out.
So he breaks the mind control, and
By singing that, it's
by
epic.
singing that, turns around with two doves like this,
It's like,
a dove in each hand. Mom says knock you out, and makes the dragon clap for him.
he can do that. He made the dragon.
Makes the
I'm
dragon
clapping when I'm knocked out. Everyone's just clapping. We're all really impressed.
Even the undead doves were clapping. And he starts crowd surfing on the doves.
What would we do without him?
Bob Chuck.
Bob Chuck.
Basically.
All right.
So the dragon's incapacitated for a turn.
Yeah.
Will's character unloads a bunch.
Yeah.
So Bob Chuck also has this thing that when he gets hit for damage, he can heal someone, which
Yeah.
he used on Billy's character.
Yes.
So he's back up.
And because the dragon's incapacitated,
One of the smaller dragons.
the smaller dragon, there's one big dragon, but the smaller dragon, I get to assassinate basically when they're incapacitated. So I have a bag full of dead doves. So I told you I was collecting them
Yeah.
when they started falling. I'm like, dead doves.
So while Wolf is running and taking his snacks
Yeah.
from these falling
I'm just
doves,
grabbing them, shoving them in a bag.
Billy, who's like stealthed from the party, is
Yeah.
collecting a whole bunch of dead doves in his unlimited bag.
Yeah, so anyway, I jump up. I use a teleportation dagger I have.
Yes.
Hit the dragon, like, kind of in the neck. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's not the point. I get up there on top of its head and start shoving these dead doves in its throat until it chokes to death.
Yes. We had to roll to see if it would explode.
It did not
didn't-
explode,
it didn't actually
unfortunately,
explode.
which would have been hilarious.
Julian would have been so salty. Would have hit him again.
I tried, 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50, lost the coin flip.
Yeah, so then the big dragon was all that was left.
Yeah, the big dragon's all that's left. It's clapping for Bob Chuck. And Seven, our ranger, decides to unload
jeez.
everything
Yeah.
into this dragon, jumps rips out all of his arrows.
Bleed damage all over.
Overkills it.
A lot.
He said
Just
that there
bleeds
was more
everywhere
blood than
inside.
dragon left, man. It was so dead.
All
So,
the blood just came out.
combat's over.
Yeah.
Julian, or Wolf, thaws, and he's like, not only do I not get my dragon, but there's no dragons left for me to tame.
He's covered in dragon guts.
He's covered in dragon guts.
We
He starts
clean him
crying
off.
bitterly in the rain and decides, you know what, just for kicks, I'm going to try and commit seppuku. Now, he has a really high armor class.
But he crits himself.
But he crits himself, and he successfully commits seppuku.
Kind of. He knocks himself out.
knocks
We're not
himself
letting
out.
him do this.
Yeah.
It's a little too dark. We're not letting this happen. We're
So-
not okaying this.
Bob Chuck with his loot wop.
Oh god.
you
We'll
wanna-
explain that another time, I think. Long story short,
Heals him up.
he can heal as much as he wants.
As long
Basically.
as you're out of combat.
As long as you're out of combat.
Can I please explain it? Like, it's just so good.
No, this will be a backstory video along
Okay,
with
we can do it.
along with the steak.
We'll do that later.
We'll do that. But yeah. So
the
heals him
combat's
up.
over.
He's like, no, you can't do that. Heal, 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 heal. So we're all back at full health.
Everybody's back to full health. Combat's over. The elf that was on the back of the rhino.
It's just like,
I didn't sign up for this. So I was just going through, like, the jungle, and then I see you guys spawn dragons.
tried to
and
help
then
us. This is what
the
you get.
You impale my rhino in the ass with a grappling hook.
Blow up a dragon.
Blow up a dragon.
Invent rap after being struck by
Invent
lightning.
rap music. I'm pretty sure there was something there, Seven, where you were on your knees in front of Bob Chuck. And then the werewolf thing committed suicide.
But then was healed.
But that was healed because the bard kept hitting himself over the head with the lute. The heck?
And that was where it ended, basically.
Well, there was a little bit of storylining after that. The elf
Yeah.
was like, so... what-
Jordan.
Yes.
Jordan.
We can do that. That's how the session ended.
Yeah.
So... so the elf was like, okay, I was kicked out of my city by all of these dragon fanatics. After the large black dragon flew over our land, like, all of these elves became dragon fanatics.
Yeah.
They praised this dragon that, well...
Mind control, I guess.
mind control, I don't know.
Yeah, the elves
Or just
a bunch
power.
of... Yeah.
So, I don't agree with what they're doing. What they're doing is they're taking our greatest mage,
Yeah.
who's in the middle of the city and has this flowing magic coming from him,
Yeah.
and they're bathing in his magic and turning into dragons because they're dragonborn.
You can do that.
Yeah, well, if you're dragonborn.
Yes.
So they're absorbing the magic and turning into these fake dragons.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong, and so I ran away.
Yeah.
And then I met you guys.
And
you
all
made
this
my day
happened.
worse.
And all this happened.
So Bob Chuck, the beatboxing bombard, decides, that's a nice rhino.
Yeah.
I want that rhino.
and I try to help him with this.
Yeah.
We both start bluffing. The elf, we're like, we need this rhino. We're doing good cop, bad cop. Bob, the beatboxing bombard, is like, we will kill you if you don't give us this
We
rhino.
will kill you.
And I'm the Rock.
Yeah, so after I rebuff their affections for the rhino, and basically put them off and say she is not giving up her rhino. The reason that they wanted to do it was they wanted to breed the elephant that we have named Richard and the rhino to make an irrelevant.
Irrelevant. But Rex decided that was irrelevant to
I
our
thought
plot.
that it was irrelevant to their plot. So Bob Chuck has this completely useless rock that he keeps
Yeah.
convincing people is all powerful. And he notices that the
a
elf
rock.
has a rock around her neck as a necklace.
It's like,
It's like, hey, that's a nice rock you've got there.
I
And
want
she's
it.
like, it's a very powerful rock. And so he takes out his useless rock and he's like, well, mine is all powerful too. And she's like, no. It's like, well, now that my rock has seen your rock,
it'll
it
kill
wants to
your-
destroy your rock.
no, and I rolled to help him bluff because I'm...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, everything will be okay if you turn over the rock.
Yes.
That rock will not hurt anybody. I've seen this before. It won't hurt anyone if you give us the rock. She gives us the rock.
Yeah, she hands Bob Chuck the rock, and Bob Chuck starts taking 14 damage around because the rock is trying to eat his soul.
Because it only is okay for Dragonborns to hold
Yes.
it. None of us are Dragonborn.
Exactly.
Rex.
So
Come on.
Bob Chuck gives her
Let's
back
have
the
some fun.
rock. Dawn the mage was like, I really, really want this rock because it's powerful. She manages to go and try and grab for it. The elf is like, no.
Yeah.
And then
We get denied. Long story
get
short,
denied.
we get totally denied.
And then in the background, this giant worm hauls out of the ground, and you see one of the party members named
In its mouth.
Iron Six
Iron
in its
Six.
mouth, and he says, F you guys for leaving us, and F Dawn in particular for screwing the rest of the party. And it goes,
It goes
back,
back
down
underground.
underground.
And that is how our session ended.
Yes.
The shenanigans seem to have no end.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. Anyway, we're going to be keeping sort of a log here of our adventures. We're going to keep doing this in the future. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. I'm probably going to break this up into 2 parts.
Okay, sounds good.
But you can expect a bit more of this in the future. It's nice. I think it'll have us make some consistent YouTube videos. We have sessions once a week.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much
I-
without fail.
Pretty much without fail. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. And just have a good night.
Bye-bye.